How you doing, everybody? So it is another week, and it's time for me to do my fitness check-in. I haven't weighed myself today yet, but I'm gonna do it in between this and after the how my week went portion. So, as usual, first I'm going to show you how my week went. Now today I'm also preparing to shoot another video unrelated to this, which is I'm installing something that requires these cables. And basically it's a new inverter, which is like right here. It's not really new, it's new to me. My friend Cora, when she did some work on her van, she sent me this 700 watt inverter a while ago. I had a 300 hooked up for a while and it got damaged. And the 300 was working, so I didn't really see a reason to change it. So I've just had this kind of sitting in my van. But now that the 300's gone out, I'm going to go ahead and hook up the 700. But to do that, I needed some new cables. It's a 700 watt Renogy inverter. That's going to be a completely separate video. But for now, I want you guys to go ahead and see how the week went. So what's up, guys? So that was the end of this week's check-in. First of all, I get a lot of questions on what DVDs are you using, what DVDs are you doing. As you notice, if you notice, when I put up my stats for the week, the DVD name is mentioned at the top of the stats. I always change the name of the exercise to the name of the DVD in the app. I don't know how many people were tracking my steps. Also, like, my new phone for some reason seems to produce lower quality images of my app, but my steps are ridiculously low, like terribly low. And it's been one of my biggest fears about coming back to the van. I keep getting emails from people who are like, "You're not doing it right," or sometimes it's in the comments, "If you do this thing, you'll lose weight fast." I swear they haven't been listening to me. But anyway, my obsession has never been with losing weight fast. Has not. It has been with getting healthier. Weight loss is one of the gauges I'm using to measure progress. That is all. But the other thing I'm using to measure progress is how I feel. Like, if I feel better than I felt months ago, weeks ago, etc. All of which is happening. Now, I will say in the last couple of weeks, I have felt very affected by my current situation, which is I'm in Berkeley taking care of things. And I'm a little bit zip code trapped while I sort of wait for some things to fall into place. And so I can't really go too far. I can't leave. I can't go back to Oregon. I can't go get a camp host job. Like, none of that stuff I can do right this second because there are things I need to take care of. And some of it just includes waiting. You take a step and then you wait. And then you see if things are in place, and then you wait. And then, like, until all of those things are checked off that list, I am stuck right here in a certain zone. No, I can't go get a camp host job. No, I can't go back to Oregon. No, I can't go anywhere else that anyone wants to suggest. I am a little bit stuck in the zone, just like for the past 2 years almost, I have been stuck here for work reasons. right now it's not work, it's other things I need to take care of while I am in my resident state near my resident address. And I need to be nearby to take care of those things. So long, extensive drives or being too far away is not an option right now. Now, the default of that has been I have gone back into stealth camper mindset. And it's been a fear of mine since I started this journey and in the transition back from apartment living where I started back into the van. Now, as I said a long time ago when I started this journey, when I was calling it a pandemic fitness journey instead of a van life fitness journey, I, by default, had to walk a lot more in the apartment. It wasn't a bad thing. You know, I had a set of stairs I had to go up to get to the apartment. I had hills I had to walk just because the area had hills. And with the van, a lot of times, it's like you're driving the van to a location, and then honestly, like, I don't like being too far from my van, if I'm gonna be honest. So, like, you know, I don't tend to walk that far away from it, even when I go off to do my exercises. Also, when I wake up in the morning to do my morning tasks, like, I sponge bath usually 9 times out of 10 right here where I'm sitting. So I go from laying down to sitting up. I'll sponge bath, I'll eat my breakfast, and I'll be doing a lot of this and moving stuff out the way, and like I need to move this over here so I can get to that, but I do it all from right here and there's no standing up. Whereas when I was in the apartment, you know, I'd wake up, I'd stand up and get out of bed, I'd stand up and walk into the bathroom. There was just a lot of natural walking that happened without me even having to think about it. And then on top of that, a lot of times I was walking outside to a location in order to, you know, exercise. And on top of that, you know, I was walking, I was going to hiking locations, and it actually was happening more often when I was living in an apartment than it has been sort of being in this city life situation. And so I've sort of fallen into bad van habits. And that includes, like, I've not gone back to junk food. I haven't even touched candy in the longest time, and I don't even want it, to be honest. I did have some ginger beer the other day, which was the closest I've gotten to, like, an acidic soda drink in, like, months upon months. And so, yeah, I'm struggling. And, like, in my head, I'm like, Dawn, just go somewhere and like find a school and walk around the school, find a block and walk around the block. But I'm mentally struggling to make myself do it. And I think part of that is just feeling stuck. And again, like I said, there are tasks I need to check off of a list that are sort of keeping me here. And sometimes when, like, it comes up that it's time for me to take care of that task, you know, sort of the day gets accidentally dedicated to taking care of it, whether it's taking the commute there, getting the thing taken care of, getting done with that, then just feeling mentally exhausted for, like, no reason. And not enough has changed, you know, between the apartment and the van for me to blame it, you know. I don't know. I don't even know where I'm going with this. All I know is, like, I can recognize that I need to be taking some more active steps to be active. And I think that's why I feel like my weight loss has hit a holding pattern. I'm definitely not gaining weight. And for all the people who are like, well, you need to do this and you'll lose weight. I was losing weight just fine when I was more active. And now that I'm becoming more and more inactive, like, I'm sticking with my videos. That's why I like those videos, because if I do nothing else, if I have that marked on my calendar to do, I will make sure I make the active effort to do it. And if I took that away, I'd be doing even less. And I don't like that. But I'm finding it hard to give myself another mission that really pushes me. And so that's the thing I'm struggling with right now. The exact thing I was worried about. Like, when I get up in the morning, I'm not standing up, and so my brain isn't getting into, I think, the same active mode. So as far as, like, this isn't a comfort thing. I am perfectly comfortable in this van. In fact, I'm too darn comfortable in this van. I can set me up a cell phone right there, lay comfortably in my bed, and probably watch Netflix all day, and it won't even be a big deal to me. That's how comfortable in this van I am. I think there's something about standing up, like physically standing up, that activates your brain in a different way. And I could be wrong. This is just my guess. But I feel like when there was like some active effort to actually separate myself from my bed, which is really hard to do in this small space, and when you're self-camping in the city, my whole self activated in a different way. I felt way more motivated. For example, once I stood up out of bed and I stood up and walked into the kitchen, you know, to then walk out the door and take a walk. In a way that I haven't felt as motivated to do since I've been back in the van. Like I said, I am too comfortable in the van. It's not the problem of a lack of comfort. I'm too comfortable, and to do most things that I still have to do inside the van, which I'm perfectly capable of doing. If I had to be trapped in here all day, I could do all the things I need to do. Like, even when I sponge bath, you know, I get out my little bucket. I have like a special little bucket, if I can find it. Like this. So this is basically my bathing thing, and I have my washcloth over there. So I basically just open this up, sitting right here. I get some water in here, you know, I get my washcloth, I put it in the water, I soap it up, I hit, you know, the dirty bits right here. You know, to make breakfast, you know, I sit right here. I put a table right where this camera is right now. You know, I make me some food. Actually, I'm lying. For breakfast, I've still been doing my shakes. So, you know, but it still doesn't require me to move. I can sit here. My blender's right there. I grab the thing off the blender. I have the blender thing. I reach over here for my fridge. I get my stuff out the fridge. I put in my stuff for my shake. I reach over this way. I blend my shake. There's a little bit of action in front, but basically, I never move from this spot. I literally go from laying down to sitting up. But I don't activate myself by standing up. And that's sort of the struggle right now, because like changing that situation is not possible. I cannot afford an apartment, even if I wanted one, which I don't. What I want is a bigger van, and I can't afford a bigger van, which means I need to somehow remotivate myself, and I don't know what that is. And sort of that's sort of my problem. I'm in a mental space of too much comfort, and it's been far easier for me to slack off when I'm not getting that activation of standing up. Now, I do think like being in a more spread out environment where it's like I open my door at the beginning of the day, you know, I'm standing up outside the van, like being in environments like that might help a little bit more, because then I'm activated to go outside where it's larger and I can stand up and I can walk around. And I just haven't been doing that. I'm sure once this video ends, people are going to also try to give me a bunch of other solutions, some of which will be helpful, some of which will be... But that's just how I'm feeling right now, and that's what these weekly check-ins are about. So I am going to go ahead and report on weight. When I first got my new scale, which would have been like 3 weeks ago now, I'm not sure if the ground was even, so I'm not even sure how real this number was, but I weighed in at 310. A week later, I think I was weighing in at like 306 or something like that. It was really weird. I don't know how much I trust that original 310. I know that number was higher than my old scale. So again, the problem is the gauge from the old scale to the new scale. And so I'm almost trying to block sort of that transition out of my mind. But I said I would go back to talking about it. And you know what? It's a number. Right now, the number isn't as important as me getting back to a place where I'm active, which I feel like I'm losing. And the only thing I'm really holding on to is the DVDs, which is great. They're sort of my anchor. But there was one day where I almost gave myself an excuse not to do them, and that scares me more than anything. And when I'm laying around watching TV, I want a snack. So those two things go together. So if I'm laying in here watching Netflix and like super comfortable and super reluctant to move, I'm also thinking snacks. And so like, and then like trying to resist the urge to snack. And since I'm not busy specifically doing anything else, sort of the draw to wanting to do that is even more. So yeah, and I also think once I get done feeling stuck, it'll be better. So here it is. On June the 14th, again, these are numbers exclusively from the new scale. I weighed in at 310.4. June 22nd, which would have been a week later, I weighed in at 305.2. And today I weighed in at 306.2. And as I said, I've been being sluggish. So I feel pretty stuck right now, which the numbers seem to indicate. It's saying I gained a pound since last week. So yeah, that's where I am right now with weight and numbers and the new scale and just meh all inside of me. And I really do. I just feel stuck. Like I feel very on pause right now. And I thought, you know, I could kind of resolve that pause by the 1st of July. It seems like it's going to be a little bit longer than that, and I don't really want to get into details right now, but I'm really fighting with that. I did not succeed this week because my goal this week was to do more hikes because I love hiking, and I haven't been doing it. And there's a lot of complex reasons for that, but some of it is just in my head and this feeling of meh. And yeah, I don't know what else to say, guys. It's been a tough week. And I'm just trying to find a way to make the upcoming weeks more successful despite being stuck in sort of this meh, for lack of a better way to name it. All right, we'll check in next week about this particular topic. And otherwise, have a good day, guys.